because I watched part of it to start the game, and I thought, okay, South Carolina's up on Texas A&M. This is probably Texas A&M sleepwalking a little bit. Pull my phone out a little bit later on. So it's 30-3, and I was like, what in the world's going on here?
I think I was sitting on the couch watching the West Virginia game, wasting my time. I don't even know why I wanted to do that. But it just
– Did you guys have
Arizona State.
Arizona State, yeah.
And I had to see Kenny Dillingham on my screen, and I was just like, man, he was just yelling. And honestly, just like Alabama, West Virginia had a chance to win the game, but the self-inflicted wounds hurt them, and West Virginia will not be playing for a bowl game this year, unfortunately, in year one under Rich Rod. But I saw the score in the bottom of the screen. I was like, Texas A&M's down 30-3. What in the world is going on in this sport today? But it just felt like at halftime, I saw the clip of Shane Beamer firing up the crowd as he ran into the tunnel at halftime. And honestly, I was like, I've seen this story before.
Yep.
And right when he did that, I was like, man, it is over for them because he thinks they've already have the game won. And Marcel Reed, I think, just wanted to have a new challenge at this point in the season. But
he hasn't had many of them. That's
he
for
has
sure.
not.
But keep in mind, last year South Carolina won this football game. I think they won it by 24. I'm pulling up the
and it derailed Texas A&M season.
That's right. Texas A&M going into that game was 7-1 overall, 5-0 in the SEC. They lost that game by 24. I was right. So 44-20 was the final score in that one, and then A&M ended up losing 3 of the next 4, and they were done. And so it felt like it was like almost like a here we go again situation. Like South Carolina's up once again, but there was about a moment, 2 moments in the third quarter when I thought that this game was turning around a little bit, and they made 2 huge plays. Marcel Reed was unbelievable in the second half.
Yes.
It was one of those where it was Casey Concepcion had a great catch down the sideline, and a few others. And here you see the tail of the
first half was awful,
unbelievably awful. 2 interceptions, and they were bad interceptions too. Bad interceptions, and then he just 141 yards, 6 completions.
He decided to turn on the controller,
and it goes for a career high. Was a new career high in that game for him?
Yes.
More than 400 yards. There you see the numbers. The numbers in the second half, that would be a good game. That was 30 minutes of football, and he absolutely just unbelievably just uncorked it. 439 total yards passing for Marcel Reed. And one of the things I kept asking myself, and we do this blame game thing on a Monday after the college football season or college football games and pro games. Are you crediting Texas A&M for the comeback, or are you blaming South Carolina? And I seem to fall in the middle. If I'm going to put it one way or the other, it's probably Texas A&M giving them credit because it just felt like there was a snowball effect that they were able to at halftime. I don't know what Mike Elko said. But there was a snowball effect of, hey, we just need to put together one big play,
right,
and then another, and then it just rolled from there.
I think I have to give credit to Texas A&M because we talk all the time about how you can sometimes get a boost when you fire a head coach. Now in South Carolina's instance, It was a new offensive coordinator, and you come out and you drop 30 when you're averaging the least amount of points in the SEC. That'll definitely turn some heads.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it is still so hard to complete 16 of 20 and throw for nearly 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, even though South Carolina was probably playing prevent defense. It's still hard to do that.
Yes.
South Carolina made Ole Miss's offense look bad, and also Alabama's offense look bad.
Yes.
And I know Marcel Reed, his Heisman odds definitely tanked after this game, even though he had the great second half.
Right.
It just proves to Texas A&M that, hey, we can win any game. I know they might get punished maybe a little bit.
A little bit. I would say, probably a little bit. With Bama losing, I think that they might be able to hold on spot. But I noticed in the AP poll, which I thought was interesting, they still got a first place vote from one voter.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know who can watch college football and think that Texas A&M is the best team in the country, but they are resilient. And I think that was the big thing for this football team. And Coach Mike Elko, he's had a funny relationship with the fans because you've alluded to this too, that Texas A&M is going to be that team that finds a way to lose 4 games. And I was on that same train too, that they'll just find a way, especially in November when the games get tough late, they'll find a way to lose those games, just like last year.
Right.
It felt like the beginning part of his message was starting to take form in the second half of the football game. And I think by now, almost everybody is at least a somewhat of believer of Coach Elko. And Coach Elko had something to say to the Texas A&M fan base.
Yeah, thank you for staying with us. Sorry for what the first half looked like. But in a lot of ways, you propelled us to victory in the second. And so, there's not a lot of places where that stadium is going to look like it looked when we come back out after halftime. And so I noticed it, obviously, in the fourth quarter when the crowd was really going, but then just standing there at the end, sawing them off, and just seeing how full the stadium still was an impressive showing by the 12th man once again.
So Mike Elko not only coaches his team to a win to remain undefeated on the season, but also signs an extension there as well. One of the hot commodities in all of college coaching, and he's getting a shot here to stay in College Station.
Well, I think it came out before the game, and you could have made the argument, seeing the score at halftime, that he was a little bit distracted there with the 30-3 deficit. But I would be a little bit reluctant. Yeah, I know Texas A&M. Like I just can't get over the past, and I know he wants you to get over the past with Texas A&M, but I still can't, because another one of these extensions that comes to mind for Texas A&M is Jimbo Fisher, and we saw how that worked out.
That's right.
He's doing great things for this program.
Right.
I just feel like this might be a little bit too early here in year 2 under Mike Elko.
Yeah, and then you see his resume, 12-3 in SEC play, 17 wins overall this year. First 10-win season since 2012. First time since 1992 there. Third time there in program history for Texas A&M. So, I mean, if you're looking at it from a short version perspective, I think that Mike Elko, obviously, he's got the cachet to have this program, where they have them right now. And I think it's good. It might be a little early, but that's today's coaching market. You got to get to these guys early before the other schools come in and swoop them up.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing it right now. Some of these coaches aren't really signing extensions that you might think would want to stay at these programs. But he's got a tune-up game against Samford. I think at this point, the message to the team is now you can't overlook anybody, because South Carolina almost just embarrassed you at home.
Yep.
I mean, it had Marcel Reed had the second half as he did the first half.
Yep.
This would be a completely different story, but you can't overlook Samford, and then you've got a Texas team at the end of the year that just suffered their third loss, could be out, but you never know with a win.
Yeah, exactly. And Texas right now, looking forward to that Texas A&M game, because possibly that might be their doorway into the college football playoff.